Freunde der virtuellen Realität, schön, dass ihr eingeschaltet habt zum heutigen Livestream. Heute zocken wir Alone E02 weiter und diesmal aber nicht mehr mit der World Index, sondern mit der Oculus Quest 2. So, ich muss mal ganz kurz hier alles nochmal kurz einschicken. Genau, das seht ihr jetzt nicht. Ich habe jetzt ganz oben über meinem Kopf das Chatfenster und ich begrüße schon mal den Mix. Schön, dass du dabei bist. So, ganz kurz mal durchgehen. Ist Bild da, ist Ton da, ist alles soweit in Ordnung, hört ihr mich ganz gut. So, dann werde ich mal ganz kurz meine Blickrichtung zurücksetzen. So sollte eigentlich alles super sein. Okay, ja, ich starte schon mal. Das Laden dauert hier ziemlich lange. Von daher kann man das so ein bisschen als Übergang nutzen. Ich muss jetzt hierfür das rote Mikrofon nehmen, das habe ich mir jetzt hier angesteckt. Ich hoffe, Soundqualität davon ist jetzt gut. Eigentlich sollte es hier für den Livestream jetzt reichen. Weil das Mikrofon der Quest weiß ich jetzt gar nicht. Erstmal ist es nicht so gut und zweitens weiß ich gar nicht, ob ich das über Oculus Link Kabel dann auch zum PC übertragen kann. Aber man hörte dich kaum, da der Game Sound sehr laut war. Okay, den Game Sound kann ich natürlich noch runterdrehen. Das sollte kein Problem sein. Dann passen wir das so ein bisschen an. So, falls irgendwas nicht passen sollte, sagt einfach Bescheid. Wenn es jetzt gar nicht geht, dann werde ich da nochmal versuchen, was anzupassen. So. Ich kann immer nur nach den Pegeln gehen und die Pegel sahen eigentlich eben ungefähr gleich aus. Von daher habe ich eigentlich gedacht, dass ich genauso laut bin wie der Game Sound. Aber gut, wenn das nicht der Fall ist.
Clear.
Confirmed. Room secure.
Nicely
So.
done.
Okay,
Now,
lassen wir
Juno,
mal reden.
if you would, please.
Jack, I need you to repower the door so I can open it.
Okay. Ja, beim letzten Mal haben wir ja diese komischen Zecken hier reingepackt und ja, nach draußen befördert. Die waren ja hier in dem Raum. Und ja, ich hatte ja beim letzten Mal das Problem, dass mit der Valve Index und Revive das Bild ziemlich ruckelte in der Brille und es war kaum spielbar. Also hat mir nicht so viel Spaß gemacht, obwohl ich das Game hier liebe. Aber hier scheint es jetzt erstmal okay zu sein. Ich hoffe, es bleibt auch so, dass es so stabil bleibt. Und ja, Mix, nochmal ganz kurz durchgehen. Reicht
Jack,
uns
it would
jetzt
really
mein
be
Sound?
best if you could
Ist der
repower
Game
the
Sound
door.
noch immer zu laut? Gerne mal durchgeben. So, okay, dann werden wir mal uns bewegen. Wir wollen jetzt, dass wir wieder da die Tür aktivieren. Mal schauen, wo das war. Okay, wo muss ich jetzt hin? Ah, hier, oder? Ah, das ist Olivia. Olivia!
Appreciate it. Are you alright?
Hey.
Better, now that we're finally clear of the biomass.
Amen to that.
Captain Rhodes,
What is it?
more biomass.
Oh, Juno, you're kidding me right now with this.
Immer noch ein wenig zu laut der Game Sound, aber meist ist es ja eh still.
No, you're not kidding.
Not to worry, Captain. I already have a solution. While sorting through the station's database, I managed to locate a set of design specs for a protective EVA suit.
An EVA suit with an air supply.
Lass uns erstmal
A
reden.
limited air supply. We'll still want to get you to a stable environment as soon as possible. More importantly, the suit will provide limited protection against the biomass. I've already queued up the schematic.
That's
All
quite
you
fun.
have to do is enter the fabricator, and we can begin.
Can't we just print the suit and I'll put it on out here?
The fabricator will perfectly form the suit to fit your body. It only takes a moment.
Okay.
Captain, you have to hold still.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Do you know, you could have warned me this was going to feel weird.
How would I know?
Oh. Ah, hat einen tollen Anzug gekriegt. Der betont seinen Körper.
Well, what do you think? Bit of a step up, wouldn't you say?
I like it.
I like it. A marked improvement over your old EVA suit.
My old EVA suit was being held together by duct tape. I'd certainly hope this was an improvement. Come on, let's go.
Give me a moment.
So. Jetzt stelle ich noch mal ganz kurz das Spiel leiser und ich möchte gleich mal dieses HUD ausstellen, was den Helm da symbolisiert. So, noch mal ein bisschen leiser. Ich kann mich ein bisschen lauter noch machen. Und dann sollte das eigentlich erstmal passen. So. So, mal ganz kurz schauen. Die Lucienne ist auch da. Hi. Und der VR-Zocker. Ja, schön, dass ihr dabei seid. Und jetzt schauen wir mal ganz kurz die Settings an. Color Blindness, nein. Display Monitor. Wir können eigentlich mal hier so ein bisschen höher, oder? Light Quality Medium. So, wir lassen erstmal alles auf Medium. Dann will ich jetzt mal schauen, ob das hier ist. Nein, auch nicht. Kann man dieses Ding nicht ausstellen? Kann ich mir kaum vorstellen. Blumen finde ich eigentlich immer blöd, aber gucken wir gleich mal rein. Ne, komm, Blumen schalten wir aus. Nee. Okay. Schon ein bisschen blöd, aber cool. Weil mich stört dieses Helmteil.
Open the door. The ship is just up ahead.
Oh, I almost forgot how nauseating this stuff looks up close.
No cause for alarm. Your suit's filtration system is designed specifically to handle airborne contaminants. You'll remain safe as long as direct contact is avoided.
I was more worried about my eyes, actually.
Der Anhalter durch die Galaxis. Ist direkt angenehmer mit der Quest zu zocken.
Is the ship not connected to the station?
Given the risk of contamination, the ship remains severed from the facility. Only under the most extreme circumstances.
I'd say this qualifies.
Of course, Captain. Stand by while I extend the gangway. Once inside, I suggest making your way to the bridge. From there...
Yeah, I'm familiar. From the cockpit, I can use the number 2 engineering panel to cycle the reactor and bring the ship online.
That's correct.
Juno, are you not coming with us?
All the power disruptions have rendered me unable to connect to the ship's mainframe.
Nee,
Once the
Lucienne.
power levels normalize, I should be able to join you on board. Good luck.
Also es ist ein cooles Headset, da bin ich bei dir und es kann auch verdammt viel, aber ich liebe meine Index einfach. Aber Lone Echo liebt halt die Index nicht so sehr. Aber hiermit läuft es wenigstens flüssig.
God, what are the odds?
What do you mean, Liv?
Oh, nothing. It's just... I grew up on a ship almost exactly like this one.
Warum schubst
It
du
was
mich jetzt
part of the
weg?
Solar Colonial Initiative.
Wie krass die Augen aussehen.
How long do you suppose it's been in service?
No idea. We'll just have to find someone and
Komm,
ask.
komm, komm. Ist ganz angenehm.
Attention.
Wenn man sich das
Atmospheric
festhalten
pressure
kann.
normal. Oxygen levels normal.
Well, that's promising.
Hello? Anyone here?
Ich sag auch
Nothing.
nochmal, hello.
I think it's just us, Jack.
Well, let's have a look, shall we?
Okay, das muss ich probieren. Komm, Liv. Ich
This
bin jetzt ein
place
Popo-Grabscher.
is kind of nice, actually.
It's nice.
Well, it's a relic, to be sure, but seeing something familiar, something from our time.
Also ich
It's the
schub's nur
closest to
weg.
home we've been in what feels like an eternity.
Oh, Poster.
This appears to be an old travel poster. I wonder how many settlements this ship has visited.
Posters like that were hard to miss when I was growing up.
Just about every planet and colony had their own. Seems to be in pretty decent condition too, especially for being 4 centuries old.
The crude nature of this repair is a bit troubling.
Same could be said for us.
Okay. Absolut, Lucian. Ohne zu fragen, einfach grapschen ist nicht. Das kann man nicht bringen. Aber wer kann mir böse sein? Ich bin Jack, der Roboter. So, was haben wir denn hier? Da ist auch noch ein... Ja, brauchen wir nicht dieses Panel. Hier
These
erklären.
cargo containers are designated for terraforming equipment.
Probably used to store spare parts for Atmo processors. Spent a lot of time around tech like this.
Because of your parents.
Yeah. Both Mum and Dad
Guck mal
worked
hier.
terraforming missions, carting us back and forth across the
Okay, hier kann man sogar durch.
Brother liked to play hide and seek in the ship's cargo hold. At least that was until he got stuck inside one of the crates. Dad was livid. Not at him, at me, for not watching out for him.
There is both an activation pod and a fabricator.
That's odd. The fabricator is definitely not original to the ship. Likely taken from the station.
Given the vessel's apparent age, perhaps it has been refitted.
Yeah. Probably several times over at this point.
It's a bit worn down, but it appears we are on the Argos.
It reads 2124. This ship was only 2 years old when we left.
Das ist das undicht.
There are a multitude of emblems, presumably from previous missions.
I don't think this ship was ever decommissioned.
Mind pointing that someplace else?
Cool. Weil ich die geblendet habe. Und jetzt hier? Ja. Okay, da ist noch was.
Damn. The bridge door's unpowered.
Is there another way?
Pioneer-class ships like this have only one hatchway to the bridge.
Ach, ich wollte dir gerade ausweichen.
So
Liv.
no. We'll need to get resourceful. Let's look around.
Here's a way to the bridge.
Take a look around. Okay, Moment noch hier. Da oben ist auch noch was. Da können wir auch noch mal hin. Take a look around. Erinnert mich jetzt an Limp Bizkit. Ja, das ist auch die Brücke, ne? Mal gucken, wo Picard ist.
Let's keep looking.
mal selber
With
schauen.
the bridge door unpowered, we'll need to try our luck in engineering.
Okay.
Reactor seems a sensible place
Wenn wir
to
jetzt was
start.
Interessantes finden, können wir das ja auch... Ah, guck mal.
Liv, I found an unusual device.
Unusual. Be right back.
Das ist der Fluxkompensator, oder? Oder ein großer Revolver. Naja, wird wahrscheinlich die Maschine sein von dem Ding hier. Der Antrieb.
What in the...
Ah, guck mal. Da kommt es ja schon.
I know these Pioneer-class ships pretty well. But this equipment... I don't recognize any of it. And more importantly, what the hell is that?
Damit können wir bestimmt auch wieder zurück in unsere Zeit. Ich wollte gerade hier auf den Chat gucken, aber ich muss ja immer nach oben gucken dafür.
I'm betting it's the reactor.
Given its size and location, it seems likely, but I'm entirely unfamiliar with this design.
As am I.
I say we turn it on and find out. If it works, the ship should start generating its own power again.
Which would give us stable life support.
Exactly. I'll see if there's a way to turn it on directly. Do you want to give the room a once-over in case there's an external control?
Guck mal, da ist doch was.
What are the odds that...
There are a number of wires coming out of the device.
Can you see what they connect to? Might lead to something useful.
Seid ihr denn schon durch bei dem Spiel? Oder wer hat's von euch jetzt gespielt? Wer ist wie weit? Ach, guck mal hier.
Surprisingly, these components are still receiving power.
It's a good sign. The reserve batteries are still working. Any luck finding controls? I'm not seeing much here.
Ja, das ist die Konsole, ne? Da müsste eigentlich... was
Some
sein.
of the wires from the device appear to lead back to this control console.
Well, that sounds promising. Be right over.
Dann haben wir da wieder Wires. Die
It's
haben wir
offline too.
Na klar.
The wires lead into that booth. Do you mind seeing if there's anything useful on the other end?
Okay.
I'll see what I
Die
can
gehen
do
da,
on the
dann,
console.
dann gehen die da rein. Okay, komm. Schauen wir mal. Ah, guck mal.
Jack, this console just came on.
Ich hab's auch eingeschaltet.
Did you do something? Oh, here we go.
Unfortunately, not controls for the reactor. It's a console for a cargo lift. I'll try lowering it.
Muss den Schalter jetzt hier
It
halten?
leads to something
Okay.
useful.
Totmann-Schalter oder was?
Whoa, wait a minute.
Warning. Biomass threat detected. Containment protocols engaged.
Jack, come look at this.
Okay, Liv, ich komm.
These canisters are holding ticks in some sort of stasis.
Die haben in der Zukunft bestimmt mit diesen Viechern experimentiert.
They appear pacified.
I think it's this device on top. It's emitting some sort of energy field.
Could the field be keeping them docile?
I think you're right. Look, they have no idea we're here. What the hell?
Do you copy?
Who was...
Jack, you can hear that, right? I've not gone daft.
It would appear Juno is not alone after all.
Juno, respond. What's happening over there?
This is Captain Olivia Rhodes. Who are you?
Olivia Rhodes. What are you doing on my ship?
Your ship?
Yes, my ship. What are you doing out of the habitat?
We lost power. Juno brought us here to try and get life support.
Never mind. Just stay where you are. I'll be there as soon as I finish rebooting the ship's power grid. Harlan, out.
Wait. Jack, if he reboots the power grid, what would that mean for these containment canisters? If they lose power, maybe we should find out from farther away.
Nothing wrong with being a bit cautious.
Wenn das Kraftfeld aus ist, dann haben wir echt ein Problem.
No, damn it. We're locked in.
Don't worry, Liv. We have an outstanding track record in difficult situations.
Ha, always the optimist. All right, plan B. Let's send them back up. I've got the lift controls. Get me power again. I'll start the lift as soon as the console's active.
Okay. Wie lange hast du da bis da gebraucht, Mix?
I need the console powered to raise the lift.
Ja, ich mache ja
Got
schon.
it. Sending lift now. Come on, come on, come on.
Power cycle initiated.
No! We're not gonna make it!
Auxiliary power initializing.
Shit! 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 Jack!
Liv,
Reaction core controls initializing.
Scheiße.
Conduit connected.
Komm.
Conduit connected. Reaction core primed and ready for ignition.
Ja, ich krieg's alle hin. Okay.
Thanks, Jack.
Puh.
That was too close.
of course, Liv.
FTL drive finished.
You're glitching.
FTL engaged.
Liv,
What's happening?
Das hat die Zeitreise verursacht. Okay. Ich bin kaputt. Wow. Das ist hell. Hut ab.
Athena, report.
Sensors reading unidentified spatial anomaly in this sector.
50 Stunden ist gut.
Cross-check Atlas database for similar phenomena.
Acknowledged. No records found. Recommend mission abort.
Negative. Maintain course. The Kronos 2 remains priority.
Acknowledge. Delta Actual.
13.
Wo bin ich jetzt?
Delta 13. You appear to be in distress.
where am I?
I will take your response as confirmation.
Delta 6, is there a problem?
I suppose that depends, Andrew. Does Delta 13 often forget where they are?
Athena, 13 appears to be malfunctioning. Please advise.
Possible EM interference from the anomaly. Warning, electromagnetic event detected.
That was interference from the anomaly.
Affirmative. Recommend all units perform cursory systems check.
Proceed.
Units, please verify your operational status. Delta Actual.
Online.
Delta 9.
Online.
Delta 6.
Online?
Delta 13.
You're supposed to say
Hey.
online.
Delta 13.
Online.
Confirmed. Delta 13 appears to have recovered. The results may be temporary. Recommend monitoring unit for further malfunctions.
Acknowledged. Delta 6. Delta 13 is your responsibility until further notice.
Acknowledged. Engaging chaperone protocol. Delta 13,
Ich
please
weiß nicht, was hier
confirm.
abgeht. Na, wir spielen mal mit.
Excellent. Command hierarchy verified.
Be advised, approaching Kronos 2 mining facility. Distance 4,800 meters.
Did she say we are approaching the Kronos 2?
Affirmative. The station went dark several days ago. We're here to determine why.
Only days ago. Then the current year is 2126.
Correct. Though, if you are experiencing temporal uncertainty or internal clock discontinuity, you may need to reset. Perhaps the clean slate protocol.
No, you don't understand. My name is Jack. I'm from the future. Or rather, I'm from the present, but I traveled to the future, and now I'm back. But I don't know how I got here or why I'm in this shell. Do you understand?
I don't believe there is a protocol for that.
Delta Actual. Short-range communications have intercepted a pre-recorded distress call from the Kronos 2 captain.
Patch it through.
Tank Command, if you're out there, this is Captain Olivia Rhodes. Kronos 2 is lost. Say again, my station has been compromised. We were hit by a debris storm caused by the arrival of an unknown vessel in our sector.
Das haben wir geil gemacht.
Damage is catastrophic.
Message repeat.
That is my captain, Olivia Rhodes.
Do you mean 13?
I already told you. My name is Jack. I served on the Kronos 2.
Jack. From the Kronos 2. If that were true, how are you here now?
Nicht sicher.
I'm still figuring that out.
Proximity alert. Sensors detecting unknown devices in the area.
Auf Liv jetzt erstmal nicht mehr
Isolate and
wiedersehen.
enhance. Identify.
No matching records. The design suggests weaponization. Threat assessment undetermined.
Are there other ships in the area?
Scanning. The SCI Ithaca and accompanying fleet are on course to pass within 47 kilometers of this location.
That's too close. We need to establish a warning beacon. No civilian vessels should. Athena, report.
Warning, electromagnetic event imminent.
Oh,
That was unconventional.
It only gets worse.
Recommend maintaining a minimum safe distance from the anomaly.
Acknowledged. Begin deceleration for deployment. Prioritize threat assessment.
Initiating emergency deceleration. Vectoring to nearest device.
ich will hier weg.
Deceleration complete. Be advised, the nearest device is directly off the port bow.
Understood. Delta 9, take point with me. Deploy recon sats.
Affirmative.
Beginning assessment. Secondary objective, establish a warning beacon. Remaining Delta units, deploy now.
That's us, 13.
Recon Sat 3 indicates the device may be a form of torpedo.
So, bevor wir jetzt weitergehen.
Moving to secure.
Sehr gut gemacht.
Let's get
Echt.
moving.
Wahnsinn. Nichts anderes habe ich erwartet.
Biological agents detected.
Warning, third electromagnetic event imminent. Anomaly pulse detected.
All units brace for impact.
Okay, war's das? Oh, wir machen wieder eine Zeitreise, oder?
Jack! Jack! It's okay. It's me. It's Liv.
Liv?
Jack! You're all right.
Liv, something's happened. I'm not entirely sure how to describe it.
I pulled your memory archive while you were out. Your logs are flooded with all this bizarre data. Delta Squad, bio-torpedoes, something called the Ithaca. Jack, what is all this? What's going on?
Liv, I saw the Kronos. I saw our old station.
Come again?
I was on a ship, a shuttle. There were other Echo units, a military detachment sent to investigate what happened to the Kronos.
Okay. Maybe you're not so all right after all. Called that one a little too early.
It's not a malfunction. I was there. I was home.
Okay. I believe you. Listen,
Danke.
there's something you need to know. While you were out, I had a chance to meet with the captain of this ship.
The man we heard over the comms?
His name is Dr. Harlan. He said... He told me...
Liv, what is it? What's wrong?
You know what? It's probably better if you just see it for yourself. We can get a closer look at your memory archive while we're at it. Come on, follow me.
Cycling the ship's power grid disabled the insulation tubes, allowing the tips to escape.
Listen, this Dr. Harlan isn't what you might call the cheeriest of souls. He might take some getting used to. Juno, I have Jack. Can you let us up?
I did warn you the station's generator was temperamental.
And how much longer
Oh,
can the
noch
ship
jemand.
operate on emergency power?
Maintaining our current energy draw? A few hours.
Oh, damit habe ich nicht gerechnet. Dass wir noch mal einen anderen hier sehen.
Dr. Harlan?
Jack, you finally recovered. I was beginning to think the blast from the FTL had obliterated your neural matrix.
So, you're the android, the Echo unit.
My name is Jack.
So I've been told.
Jack, this is Dr. Harlan, my administrator.
What exactly are you doing here, Doctor?
Odd question coming from you.
Dr. Harlan is a geneticist, specializing in the biomass.
You're here to study the biomass?
I'm here to try and find a way to destroy it.
He's also the one responsible for our extended stay in the hab.
Okay.
That was for your own safety.
Ich dachte, der will damit Experimente machen. Boah, aber wie krass die Gesichter aussehen.
Dr.
Wahnsinn.
Harlan, I need you to show Jack what you showed me.
I have work to do. He's your android. You explain it to him.
He needs to see it.
Captain, perhaps I can be of some assistance.
Was will uns Liv zeigen?
Are you certain you want to see this again, Captain?
Just pull it up.
Very well.
What exactly am I looking at?
The future. All this orange you're seeing on the map, that's all biomass. That's how far it's
Oh
spread.
je, alles kaputt.
To date, the infection has consumed approximately 56% of the habitable solar system.
Including Earth.
How did all this happen?
It starts with us.
With us?
with the destruction of the Kronos. 7 October, 2126. Your station, the Kronos 2, is almost completely destroyed when an unknown vessel suddenly appears in your sector.
The Estrella.
Correct.
When the Estrella traveled back to our time, it brought the biomass with it. And when we left...
The infection stayed behind.
Are we starting to see where this is going?
In the days following the incident, a fleet of Atlas survey ships unknowingly passed through the infected zone. Most of the fleet's crew complement is consumed by the biomass. The infected fleet proceeds along its predetermined course toward Earth.
Na super.
One by one, the now crippled
Wir
vessels
sind dann
collide
überall
with the
schön
planet's surface,
lang geflogen.
unleashing a global infestation. Humanity has no defense.
Billions of people. Most of the planet. Just... gone.
The remnants of humankind are scattered across the solar system, but without any means to combat the spread of the biomass.
It's only a matter of time. All those people.
In truth, the initial death toll would likely have been higher had it not been for the captain of the Ithaca, who managed
Wait, the Ithaca?
The Ithaca was the flagship of the returning fleet.
Ithaca? I've seen that name before.
Hardly surprising. The Ithaca...
I remember it as well. I heard it when I was in the past.
Die Charaktere sind der Hammer, echt.
Ah, that's it! That's where I saw it. In your memory logs. I've got the data right here. Look. Jack, would you mind running us through what we're seeing here?
I recall overhearing the ship was expected to arrive in Saturn orbit within a few days.
Ach, da war ich drin.
I don't understand. For that to be true, these logs would have to be from 2126. A full 3 months before the Ithaca crashed on Earth.
That is correct.
Jack, are you suggesting that you traveled back in time?
I know how it sounds.
I'm not sure you do.
This is why your memory was so fragmented. In the control room. Because you went back in time.
Not physically. Just my data. My consciousness. I believe the FTL accident may have briefly opened another temporal anomaly, disabling my shell and forcing my protocols to transfer to another echo unit.
400 years in the past.
Evidently.
You believe Jack's account, Captain?
It makes sense. A botched FTL jump is the whole reason we're in this mess to begin with.
It's the only explanation.
That is difficult to dispute.
Do you know you with us?
Oh, apologies, Captain. I was distracted.
Something wrong?
I'm not sure. Can we access this memory block?
Just a sec.
Just as I thought.
What are we looking at here?
Ach, die haben wir doch damals gesehen auf dem Schiff. Genau,
Some
eine
form
Waffe.
of weapon I encountered while in the past.
Die waren
Dr.
überall
Harlan,
eingeschlagen.
As I recall, they're fitted with a form of biomass payload.
Oh, lovely.
Dr. Harlan.
Still not now.
Dr. Harlan, you should really take a look at this.
What part of not now do you not understand?
What? What is it?
The torpedo appears to be undetonated.
What's that supposed to mean?
Where did you pull this image from?
Bisschen näher an den
This is from one of Jack's recent memory
Nein, die
logs.
Haare, Wahnsinn.
Recent memory logs?
It's difficult to explain. It may or may not involve time travel.
I'm sorry, what?
We can parse out the details later. Right now, Doctor, you do realize what this could mean.
A solution.
Solution to what? Will someone please tell me what the hell's going on?
Right. Come with me.
Der redet sehr leise, der Kerl.
You're studying these weapons, these biotorpedoes.
They're not weapons so much as incubators. Inside each one is a sampling of the biomass-based genetic material. The infection in its purest form. All you need to know is this. If I could manage to sequence this material, I am confident I could develop a means to eliminate the biomass.
You're saying a cure?
It's what I've been searching for. But every torpedo I've encountered has been detonated. I've never seen one with its payload still intact.
But I have.
If that's true, then you may have just found the key to saving what's left of humanity.
Wow.
Dr. Harlan? I'm afraid we may have more pressing matters.
Juno's right. Energy reserves are dipping into the red. I suggest we table this conversation until we find a way to restore the station's generator.
Perhaps there's something we can do.
Ja, wir helfen. Komm, Doktor.
Dr. Harlan?
Wir machen das.
This is the part where you ask us for help.
How do we fix the generator?
Fixing the generator isn't the problem. The problem is getting to it. The generator facility is not accessible from within the station. You need to approach from the exterior. Search the outer hull for a way inside.
With a few improvements, you should have no trouble at all.
Exactly what sort of improvements do you have in mind?
Nothing drastic. Just an entirely new shell.
I'm sorry.
Well, you can't go venturing out to the generator in that old relic. No offense intended, of course.
Of course.
Is this really necessary?
Transferring Jack to a newer shell will allow him to more easily interface with the station's various systems, as well as drastically improve his ability to maneuver in
Da sind wir
open
nicht mehr so ein
space.
dünner Hering hier.
Not to mention,
All right. Fine.
Der mag uns nicht.
So long as there's not too much of a strain on our power reserves.
this way, Jack. I have already identified a shell design I believe you'll find satisfactory. It was originally meant for rapid emergency response. The base design includes enhanced speed and durability, as well as a data link compatible with the station's architecture.
Und jetzt?
I've already uploaded the shell's blueprints. It'll only take a moment to complete fabrication.
Jetzt bin ich gespannt, wie das Ding aussehen wird.
I've already adjusted the shell's underlying design to account for the particulars of Jack's neural matrix. All you'll need to do is shut yourself down, so I can transfer your processes to the new shell.
Oh, that's all, is it?
Don't worry, Captain. The transfer will be seamless. Construction complete.
Oh, jetzt.
The new shell is prepped for transfer.
It looks like him.
Yes, I incorporated Jack's existing facial structure into the shell's design.
Ich hab da an was
was
Größeres gedacht.
Jack, you're clear to initiate the shutdown procedure whenever you're ready.
Na komm.
Shields at 30%.
Initialize neural matrix transfer. Verify hardware connection. Okay.
Wäre das mal in Real Life möglich, ne?
Mapping
Einfach
core protocols.
einen neuen Körper, zack, fertig.
Success.
Das wäre doch was.
Initialize boot sequence.
Die Sounds sind hier echt gut gemacht.
Jack? Jack, look at me.
Oh,
You alright?
hi. Na klar, Liv.
I'm sorry. Who is Jack?
Do you know what
Liv.
the...
I'm fine. I was only joking.
Oh, God, you had me worried.
The transfer
Alles
worked
gut.
just as Juno said. It was funny though, right?
Hilarious. Well, Jack, I'll say this. You certainly clean up nice.
Thank you. I must
Sieht ein
admit
bisschen
this
moderner
shell's
aus, ne?
architecture is much more spacious than my previous one.
Just don't go forgetting where you came from.
Now that the transfer is complete, I'd suggest running calibrations to acclimate your software to the new shell.
That's actually not a terrible idea.
Then it's settled. I'll queue up the appropriate modules.
Sit tight, Jack. We'll have you sorted quick enough.
Aber gerade die Hände, man würde ja nie das so gestalten, dass hier die feinen Drähte direkt sichtbar sind und kaputt gehen könnten, ne? Okay, jetzt wird uns wieder was erklärt, was wir jetzt Neues
Your
können.
EVA pack allows you to boost forward in the direction you are looking. Use your boost to reach the console ahead. Well done. Please press the hollow button to continue. Now boost to the end of the hall before the walls close in on you. Multiple boosts may be required.
Okay.
Excellent. Calibration module complete.
Okay, wir haben jetzt wieder den Boost.
Module
Genau, wir hatten auch
M116.
noch...
Braking
Ja, Bremsen
thrusters.
gab es auch noch in Teil 1, ne?
This module will calibrate your braking thrusters, which allow you to stop in place without grabbing any surfaces. You will continue to slow down for as long as you hold your braking thrusters. We'll practice this in the room ahead. Please meet me there to continue. There are 2 target zones in this room. Please boost into one of the zones and hold your braking thrusters until you come to a full stop. Success! Now use your braking thrusters to stop inside target zone B. Calibration module complete. Please stand by.
Das war einfach.
Module J101. Data interfaces.
Ja, ich habe auch so meine Probleme mit der Sprache.
Your new body is capable of
Ich muss
equipping
mich echt
multiple
auch
tools.
mega
In
konzentrieren.
addition to your cutter, you now also have a data link. With it, you can interact with data ports around the station to activate objects or download information. Tap the button under your wrist to open the tool selection interface. Now, grab and pull the data link icon with your other hand. Good. This tool allows you to interact with data ports throughout the station. You can also activate your cutter on your other hand if you need to use both tools simultaneously. To proceed,
come on.
move to the data port above the door ahead and use your data link to activate it. Well done. Please proceed to the room ahead. Some data ports will activate systems throughout the station. Others will allow you to retrieve useful information from the station systems. Calibration module complete. Please stand by.
Das ist cool. Gefällt mir. And now?
Welcome back to the real world, Jack.
Before you go, I'd like to make use of your new data link. Captain Rhodes?
Right.
What is this?
A data tile left behind by one of the station's scientists. I'd like to see if your scanner can access the information stored inside.
Das ist meine alte
Ah,
Idee.
interesting.
What was on it?
Research notes on the biomass.
Anything useful?
A list of genetic markers shared between the different biomass forms that could prove most useful. Jack, if you find any more devices with data ports like this one, be sure to scan them and transmit your findings to me.
Will do.
I've also added a new data tab to your ARM computer to track what we've recovered.
How much data was lost?
We don't actually have any way of knowing, but finding more will almost undoubtedly be beneficial towards developing a cure, even if only in a small way.
Understood.
Anything else, Juno?
That should be all for now.
Come on out then, Jack.
Danke, dass ich rauskommen darf.
Juno, do you read?
Yes, Doctor?
I need you back here to help me pass the FTL's output data. And bring Captain Rhodes with you. I could use an insight as well.
We've nearly finished prepping Jack for departure.
He's still here? I could have built an entirely new generator by now. Get him out of the airlock and then get up here.
You weren't exaggerating. This Dr. Harlan is quite irritable.
Try not to be too hard on him. He has good reason.
It sounds like there's something I should know.
Do you know? Tell
No.
him.
Tell me what?
Aber ich bin nicht
Dr.
alleine.
Harlan is
Und ihr
infected.
seid da, das ist ganz wichtig.
Infected with what?
With the biomass, of course.
I don't understand. He seemed perfectly normal.
His infection is internal, a result of breathing in microparticles of the biomass. Though we have managed to slow the infection's progress using various treatments developed here at the facility, I fear the doctor may be approaching the final stages of his infection.
What happens if he doesn't develop a cure in time?
I'm guessing that very question is what's making him so irritable.
I hope this might help you better understand why Dr. Harlan is the way he is. His entire life, he's only ever had one goal: eliminate the biomass, preserve what's left of humanity. Thanks to you, for the first time in, well, quite a while, we appear to be making progress.
Whatever I can do to help.
You can start by restoring the generator.
Lead on.
Cycling the airlock now.
Das ist gut zu wissen, wofür. Dann bin ich nicht ganz alleine.
Ready to depart.
Na komm.
Hard seal.
Ja.
Ready to cycle.
Wait a second, Juno. Jack,
Liv.
listen. There's something else.
Captain Rhodes, maybe now isn't the best time.
I'm not about to send him out there with only half the story.
Liv, what is it?
You remember on the Estrella, when you saved my life by repressurizing the bridge?
Liv, what are you saying?
The oxygen that flooded into the bridge was contaminated. Dr. Harlan's already run a test to confirm. The infection's in my system.
No.
Oh nein.
Jack, listen to me. The contaminants were microscopic. There was no way you could have known.
No, I cleared the vents.
Yes, you did. And if you hadn't, I'd have been dead almost instantly.
Oh, sie ist auch infiziert.
Are you all right? Are you experiencing any pain?
No, I'm fine. I'm not feeling any effects at all.
Currently, the captain's infection is dormant. It takes time, often years, for the biomass to shut down the human body. What's more, her particular strain of the infection is less aggressive than Dr. Harlan's, perhaps due to her having acquired it in the past.
The best thing we can do right now, the only thing, is help Dr. Harlan develop his cure. We do that, all our problems are solved.
Technically, not all of them. You'll still be stuck in the wrong time.
Yes. Thank you, Juno. Get to the generator. Stabilize the power grid. Hopefully, by then, we'll have come up with an idea for what's next.
Whatever you need me to do, I'll take care of it.
I know you will.
Now off you go. Good luck.
Commencing depressurization.
Guck mal, wir können uns hier auch alles anschauen.
Depressurization complete.
Exiting airlock. How do I reach the generator?
The generator facility should be just up ahead as you
Nicht
exit.
schlecht.
Copy that.
Okay, wir haben jetzt auf jeden Fall mitbekommen, ja gut, der Doktor ist sowieso infiziert, das wussten wir. Und leider auch Olive, die hat diese Mikroorganismen auch eingeatmet. Und ja, ist natürlich blöd gelaufen. Ja, also grafisch ist das hier bombastisch und ich spiele gerade mal auf Medium, ne? Boah, das sieht so geil aus.
I'll mark the destination for you.
Juno, pull the FTL's output log, starting a few minutes back from the accident.
What are you looking for?
If your android is right and the FTL accident really did create a temporal anomaly, then we should see clear evidence of the event in the output data. FTL drives don't normally rip open tunnels through time.
Oh, ich will mehr solcher Spiele. Wie kann Facebook sagen, wir machen solche Spiele erstmal nicht mehr?
I don't believe being infected by biomass is normal either.
Wait, you're right. Juno, can you pull up the readings from right when the ticks attacked the drive?
Stand by.
This resonance. The FTL shouldn't be creating a displacement with this signature and nowhere near this magnitude.
Was ist hier passiert?
Then it's the biomass. Has to be. It's causing some sort of reaction in the drive.
We'll need to run some simulations.
Let's get to it then. Jack, we'll be on standby.
Acknowledged. I've located the entrance.
Unfortunately, it seems the airlock is offline, most likely due to the power failure. An alternate access method will be required.
Does that mean there's another way in?
Station blueprints show an access hatch on the facility's exterior. Look for a small rectangular hatch with a red cover.
Copy that. I'll take a look outside.
Okay, wir müssen raus. Kleine Luke mit einem roten. Guckt euch das mal an. Das sieht so hammermäßig aus. So. Find the exterior access hatch. It has a red cover. Ja. Gehen wir mal hier lang. Da ist noch was, oder? Gucken wir uns noch mal ein bisschen von weiter an. Vielleicht sehen wir dann schneller was. Ja, das ist rot gestreift, ne? Da ist es doch.
Access hatch located. Looks like I'll have to cut my way in.
With the generator's interior in a vacuum state, it should be safe to use your cutter here. Explosive decompression will not be an issue.
Copy that.
Und tschüss.
I'm inside the facility. What's next?
The main problem is almost certainly the reactor. It's a large cylindrical structure in the facility's central chamber. The access way will take you there, though additional cutting may be required. But please, try to avoid damaging our former workplace too heavily.
Juno!
Wait, you two used to work here?
Juno and I were part of the station's biomass research team.
So you were here during the outbreak?
No, I had taken leave to pursue my theory for eliminating the biomass. By the time I returned, it was too late. There was no one left.
My God, Harlan.
Captain, please. We have work to do.
Also hier stimmt einfach alles. Sound, Charaktere, Story, Grafik. Fortbewegung ist einfach einmalig gut. Ah, guck mal, da haben wir das kaputte Teil doch.
Reactor located.
Great. How's it look?
Not well. I'm seeing smoke, likely from an internal malfunction.
That explains the power outage.
And the life support failure.
Right, better open it up, Jack.
Brauchen wir
See what's
bestimmt.
going on in there.
Guck mal, Data File, okay.
This data tile appears to still be intact.
Despite their small size, data tiles make for excellent external storage. I advise scanning it so that we can retrieve its contents. Scan successful. Interesting. Shortly before the outbreak, the engineers developed a means of optimizing the power flow of the reactor. Jack, if you can find more data on this, I may be able to adapt these principles to your integrated cutter.
How much more data?
Uncertain. Without possessing the actual data, it's impossible to measure its size. Nonetheless, I've made an entry in the data tab on your ARM computer. I anticipate only a few more scans will be required, though.
Acknowledged. I'll keep watch for more data ports.
So, wir müssen mal probieren. Mit. Guck mal hier. Was können wir denn hier jetzt machen? Müssen wir ja irgendwie aufmachen, ne?
I'm opening the casing for a closer look at the reactor.
Copy that.
Core depleted.
Malfunction confirmed. A bad reactor core.
You'll need replacements to get the reactor running again, Jack. The facility contains a storage area that might be worth investigating.
Thanks, Juno. The reactor has quite the unique shape. An icosahedron. For optimal power flow, I assume.
Correct. The reactor's quasi-regular orthogonality allows for nearly flawless energy management.
Good enough state to work, though, right?
Yes, the malfunction appears to be temporary. Install a complete set of operational cores, and the reactor should resume normal functionality.
Okay. Well, sounds like you two have got things handled.
Copy that. A fully charged core. Hopefully, still able to make clean contact with the reactor.
So, jetzt mal schauen, was jetzt passiert.
Now simply rotate the core clockwise until it stops turning.
Okay, im Uhrzeigersinn reindrehen.
Core is locked in.
Excellent.
Ich bin weitergekommen, klar. Guck doch mal, wo wir hier sind. So, wir brauchen noch einen Core. Okay, jetzt kann uns erstmal nichts mehr passieren.
Some type of local data storage?
Correct. Insert enough of them into a database terminal, and the terminal's data port will become available to scan. Nice work, Jack. Much of the data here will prove useful in augmenting your cutter. Unfortunately, we will need more to complete the design. But I did find something that might be of interest. A voice memo from the station's chief engineer regarding the technology. I've added it to your ARM computer's data tab, Jack.
Audio file.
Hey everyone, I wanted to send a quick update to just our team before the news goes wide. We did it. As of about 6 minutes ago, we flipped the switch on the new reaction management system. We're seeing a stable 72% increase in outflow with a peak at almost 90%. For those keeping score, that's 12% above projections. Hell of a job, everyone. This will save lives.
This drone's power appears to be depleted.
There should be an induction charger nearby. Simply insert the drone to replenish its power. Once it finishes charging, we should be able to access its data port.
Okay, müssen wir gleich mal gucken. Absolut nicht. Es läuft echt so gut. So sollte es auch sein. So, warte mal. So. Petabytes recovered. Ah, okay. Ich muss immer noch sammeln. Ja, wo haben wir ein Ladegerät? Für den.
A rather prominent location for a manual interface.
Those are the distribution controls, Jack. They'll eventually direct power to every facility in Chiron Station. The reactor will need to be activated before this console will work.
Oh.
Acknowledged.
So, okay, wir müssen auf jeden Fall jetzt ein Ladegerät finden für das Ding. Aber woher nehmen wir nicht stehlen? Guck mal. Kann man das, müsste man das auch aufmachen? Nö. Ja. Kostet uns ja nichts, ne? So. Okay. Da ist noch was zum Scannen. Ach, der kommt da nicht durch. Okay. Können wir hochheben? Jawohl.
Good news, Jack. With the data you just collected, I expect we need only one more scan to complete the design.
Juno, I need you to run the math on these sim parameters.
Yes, Doctor.
Dr. Harlan, why did you have to leave the station? There seems to be plenty of biomass.
That is all highly evolved. I need the base genetic material, and that can only be found in an undetonated biomass torpedo. There was nothing more I could do from here.
Right. Then what brought you back? Did you know the station had...
I'm sorry, Captain Rhodes, but we do not have time for me to recount my entire life story. I was here. I lived. And when I came back, everyone was dead or gone.
All right. Fine.
Why don't I simply compile an archive of the logs covering our time away from the station? That way the captain can review them at her leisure.
If you must, but after you've finished verifying the sim parameters.
Very well. I will let you know when I finish, Captain.
Thanks, Juno.
Empty racks here. Were they running low on supplies?
Negative. However, among the facility's final logs are inventory requests of unusually high quantities. I presume anyone who managed to escape the station must have brought the supplies with them.
Let's hope such was the case. Must have been a horrid scramble.
Wo soll jetzt so ein Ladegerät sein? Für den Kollegen da. Okay. Aber bevor wir da runtergehen, mal ganz kurz. Ah, okay. So, mal gucken, ob wir das jetzt von hier aus auch aufkriegen.
I'll probably have to cut my way through from the other side.
Okay, ja, wie soll ich denn... Ich dachte, das wäre jetzt einfacher, als ich dachte, aber... Wie soll ich die jetzt durchschneiden von da aus? Ne. Das funktioniert nicht, okay. Deshalb müssen wir auch diese Daten sammeln, ne? Wahrscheinlich. Da sind wir reingekommen. Da. Okay, ist eine andere Luke. Genau, da waren wir eben vor, die war ja zu. Race in Emergency. Da ist auch kein Reinkommen.
Jack, the reactor will need a full set of cores to function properly. I suggest looking in the facility storage area.
Ach, guck mal, da ist doch ein Ladegerät, oder? Ah, okay, jetzt kann ich den Onkel nochmal holen. Na komm. Sebastian war mal wieder sehr blind. Na. So, lad mal auf, Junge.
Excellent. That did indeed provide sufficient data. Just give me a moment to process everything. Stand by. Schematic complete. Please head to the nearest fabricator so we can install the improvement to your cutter.
Okay. Wir kriegen jetzt einen neuen Cutter, der eine längere Reichweite hat. Dafür mussten wir diese Daten sammeln. So, rein da. Nicht? Sollen wir erstmal melden? Nö. Ach, okay. Ja, ist gut. Ich hab's nicht gesehen. Ich muss mal kurz den Knoten hier rausmachen.
Integration successful. Your shell's reactive cutter has been refitted with extended range and efficiency.
Well done, Juno.
The pleasure was mine. And please, restrict cutting to non-critical equipment.
Okay, jetzt müssen wir auf der anderen Seite wieder. Ja, die Steuerung ist auch Wahnsinn. Echt gut gemacht. Na, warte mal, wir müssen jetzt echt hier.
I've managed to open the hatch leading to the storage area.
Splendid. The area should now be accessible through the maintenance duct below. Captain, I've finished compiling the log data you requested.
Great, can you pass it to my ARM computer, Juno? Actually, best send it to Jack as well.
Of course. Jack, I've added it to your data tab.
Wow, this is some archive.
It was an illuminating expedition. I took the liberty of segmenting the log entries. Feel free to review them at your own pace.
If you two have finished, I've input the parameters for the next sim.
Of course, Doctor.
2013. Nee, doch nicht.
Juno, this is incredible. Coming here was an excellent idea.
Dr. Harlan, I must again insist that you return to the ship. Conditions here are not conducive to...
Oh, listen to this. The ship that destroyed the Kronos 2 was called the Astrea. It was an Atlas vessel from the future. Do you have any idea what this means? The implications are staggering.
Doctor, please. Now that you have established an uplink, I am quite capable of extracting these archives. I would much rather you peruse them from the safety of the Argos.
Yes, just another minute, Juno. Look here. They learned all this with a partially functional adjutant they found aboard the ship.
Partially functional does not suggest a high degree of credibility.
They ran metrics. Anyway, it seems once they linked it to a diagnostic terminal, it made rapid progress through the fire.
Second core installed.
An exhaustive
Acknowledged.
report over
Please
the data
visit one of the
stores,
nearby consoles to bring the reactor back
at
online.
which point it concluded
Ich denke mal, ich muss das
that
Ding wieder
because the
hochziehen,
vessel,
oder?
the Astrea, had been displaced in time, the activation of its auxiliary drive bay had partially reversed that displacement.
I am unsure what that means, Doctor.
Yes.
Wir gehen mal in den Kontrollraum.
The reactor is back online.
The power hasn't returned here on the ship yet.
Jack, power still needs to be distributed from here to the ship, as well as the rest of the station. The console you saw in the control room should now allow you to perform this final step.
Concluded that disappearance corresponded with activating the auxiliary drive bay, thereby sending half the vessel back to its original space-time coordinates. Saturn orbit in 20...
Okay, wir lassen erstmal so. So. An der Konsole konnte man nichts machen, kann man nur an der was machen. Hi Chris, fertig mit deinem Stream? Also, wer den Chris nicht kennt, definitiv mal auf seinen Kanal, Chris Reality. Und der hat eben auch noch Into the Radius gezockt. Ja, läuft mit der Quest einmalig, super flüssig, also es muss an Revive gelegen haben. Würde mich noch interessieren, ob das mit der Pimax auch so ist.
Distribution console primed and ready to deliver power to the station.
Roger that. Let her rip, Jack.
Distribution complete. Power grid stabilized. Life support systems optimal.
Well done, Jack. We're getting full power here.
How is progress on your end?
Dr. Harlan's still running sims, but I think we at least have a working theory.
All the models we've run so far appear to confirm biomass interaction with an active FTL triggers an abnormal buildup of energy within the drive, resulting in the formation of a temporal anomaly.
For reasons we still don't fully understand.
It is also unclear why the accident only caused the android's software to travel through time, as opposed to the more physical time jumps we've observed with the Astrea. But at this point, I'm willing to accept these ambiguities and proceed.
Wait, what exactly are you saying?
We must try it again.
What, send Jack back in time again? You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, ich mache wieder eine
It's the
Zeitreise.
only way. Any chance we have of
Ja, mit
eliminating
dem Roboter
the
kann man nicht mehr machen, ne?
with finding an undetonated torpedo. We must send the android back.
You talk like he's expendable.
Of course he is. All of us are. You've seen how it spreads. Eradicating the biomass is going to take everything we have, and then some.
Yeah, well, it's not just up to you, is it? Jack, what do you think?
He appears to
Hey.
have no objections.
And there really isn't any other way.
No, I have already tried everything else.
Ich wollte hier gerade drücken.
And your android appears to be the only one of us able to partake in this particular form of time travel. This is our last, best chance.
Fine. What do we do next?
We're going to have to recreate the circumstances of the time travel accident.
Oh, don't tell me.
We're going to need biomass. Contained biomass samples specifically. The research facility should serve our purposes nicely.
There is one other problem. The FTL accident depleted the drive's
Okay,
fuel cells,
biomass.
and we don't have the supplies to refill them.
Then our best bet for a fuel cell will be the remnants of the Astrea. However, exploring that area may be difficult. Pesky shipboard defense protocols somehow remain active. Something off with the AI, Juno says.
Could be just as dangerous as dealing with the biomass, really. Well, Jack, what's up first? Grab some creepy crawlies from the research facility? Or dig up a fuel cell for the FTL drive?
I'll collect our biomass samples first.
Though no longer operational, there is a tram line leading from the central transit hub out to the research facility.
Understood.
So when Jack eventually returns with these volatile materials, where exactly do we plan to store them?
I believe I can convert elements of the refueling depot to suit our needs.
Need a hand?
Why, yes, Captain. Your assistance would be most appreciated.
Anything's better than just sitting here. Come on, Popcorn. Let's get ready to head out.
Popcorn.
Good luck out there. See you soon.
Okay.
I noticed these when we first arrived in this timeline. Some kind of massive processing structure. It's capturing Saturn's atmosphere.
Correct. They're known as autonomous atmospheric harvesters. They process hydrogen and helium from Saturn, inject it into containers, and then jettison those containers outward for retrieval. The minimal contact
Harvesters
reduces the
erden,
risk of
ne?
biomass infection.
It's like the Kronos 5000 or something.
Sorry.
I mean, it might be what our job would have turned into. It's a bit more impressive than extracting helium from ice cubes like we did, but it's basically where our work was headed.
Ich würde sagen, dass wir einmal so, was haben wir denn hier? Okay, ich dachte, hier wären irgendwelche Sachen drin, die man gebrauchen kann. Boah. Okay. Da ist nichts drin. So irgendwie witzig. So, kann ich jetzt da raus? Ja. Dann müsste ich auch noch irgendwie hier wegpacken können.
This equipment is some form of dock or buoy?
Affirmative. It's one of the station's charging docks. They're set up to facilitate recharging and navigation for the various drones deployed here. Though it is worth noting that the Doctor and I have redeployed several pieces of equipment as well. Fortunately, with the generator repaired, we should be able to restore most of the equipment throughout the station by scanning their data ports.
Understood.
Guck mal hier. Na komm, warum kann ich den jetzt nicht mehr anvisieren?
Juno, this appears to be some sort of communication antenna.
A signal relay, to be exact. It's a key part of Chiron Station's intranet, as well as the external comms array. There are many more of them located throughout the station. If we reactivate them, we should be able to recover any data they might have stored.
And what is it you hope to find, Juno?
It's likely that a large amount of research data is stored in their buffers. Data that should prove useful in developing a cure for the biomass.
Well, cheers to that.
How shall I proceed?
Well, there are several clusters of relays throughout the station. One cluster per major facility. The issue is that the relays within each cluster are no longer linked. Thus, manual relinking is required. Linking sequence timed out.
Okay. Also die muss ich die jetzt jedes Mal...
Oh, you just activated a signal relay. You have 25 seconds to find another and activate it, if you wish to reconnect them.
Ach so, okay. Toll.
Jack, you're running out of time.
Ja. Wo soll denn der nächste sein?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Linking sequence timed out.
Ich muss erstmal gucken, wo noch eins ist, ne? Also das sind natürlich Aufträge. Okay, komm. Wir gehen erstmal unseren Hauptjob mal erledigen. Diese Sachen kann man ja immer noch machen.
Approaching the Estrella now.
Finally, if any fuel cells are still intact, they'd probably be deeper within the wreckage.
Loading.
Unfortunately, everything beyond the bridge is steeped in radiation, and the ship's AI is just making matters worse.
The ship's AI? Do you mean Apollo?
Are you familiar?
Apollo was the ship's tactical AI. He was instrumental in helping us survive our first encounter with the biomass.
I just hope he's still online.
Considering my difficulties exploring here, he must be.
Then if we can make contact with Apollo, he can probably help us find the fuel cell we need.
Guess it's time to say hello to our old friend.
Roger that. Heading to the bridge. A bypass for the door controls, locked behind a keypad.
It was the only way I could gain access. The code is 2126.
I've gained access to the bridge.
I assume you have some type of plan.
Apollo's AI core would be an appropriate place to start. It was vital to his operation here.
Good point, Jack. If it's still intact, could be all we need to strike up a conversation.
You two are rather confident.
Apollo commissioned us as official crew members last time we met.
And we did part on good terms. I'm sure he'll do what he can to help.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
A casualty from Dr. Harlan's previous investigation.
It was just another shell lying around the station. We were trying to put it to good use.
I thought I could pilot it well enough, but apparently limb control is not my forte.
I'm expecting you'll fare better, Echo One. If this Apollo is indeed the ally you say he is.
An electrode for the defibrillator.
If you hadn't found that defib unit when you did, I wouldn't be here.
The main access point for the bridge systems. With Apollo's AI core plugged in here, we might have a chance of establishing contact.
Oh?
The core made contact, but the connection was rejected. It might require the mainframe access slot instead. Apollo's AI core.
Oh, still intact?
Reasonably so, it seems. I'll just need to...
Unknown user detected. Bridge access is restricted to crew members only.
Wait, what?
Initializing threat suppression protocol.
Das ist nicht gut.
Apollo, search your memory for my identifier. Echo 1.
User not found.
Oh Gott.
Try Jack.
Memory query successful. User entry found. Jack, welcome back to the Estrella. It is good to see you.
Thank you, Apollo. It is good to see you as well.
Is Captain Rhodes with you? And well, I hope.
Cheers, Apollo. We missed you.
Likewise, Captain. Jack, your appearance is altered. I almost did not recognize you. I must apologize for the alarms.
Your reasoning was sound.
What brings you back to the Estrella?
We need an FTL fuel cell, Apollo. But we believe you've been disabling Dr. Harlan's salvaging equipment. We'll need it back online to deal with the radiation here.
Preserving this vessel is my primary directive. The last time jump virtually destroyed it. No further attempts to remove or misuse equipment can be permitted.
Lives depend on it, Apollo.
I understand, Captain, but I cannot allow any further material from this vessel to be compromised.
Apollo, Liv is infected with the biomass, and your directive is protecting this ship's crew and its critical assets.
Forgive me, Jack. I failed to follow your reasoning.
You yourself commissioned Liv, a fellow Atlas employee, as acting captain after the deaths of your original crew. You must remember.
Confirmed, though I had not considered her status in such terms. Captain Rhodes is truly infected.
She needs your help.
Very well. As the Estrella's tactical adjunct, my primary directive is to protect its crew.
So you will help them?
Affirmative. I am hereby available to assist you in obtaining a fuel cell.
Alles gut.
Lovely. That's settled.
Apollo, are you able to detect any fuel cells that are still operational?
My sensor network has been severely damaged. However, any functional fuel cells on the Estrella would be in the auxiliary drive bay. It can be seen through the window far ahead of the bridge.
Ja, hast du recht.
It is approximately 400 meters from here.
Seems easy enough to reach.
And it would be if this AI hadn't disabled the equipment I set up to counter the radiation.
A temporary security measure. Your equipment is now re-enabled.
You better not have damaged any of it.
Normal operations should resume now. Jack can verify this.
Oh dear. Incoming.
What the hell is that?
A cargo drone. Apparently no longer capable of flight.
Apologies. My anti-theft protocols are quite aggressive.
Fortunately, our salvaging equipment appears to still have working radiation dampeners, meaning Jack should now have a safe route to the drive bay.
That's some good news.
A number of problems remain. Accessing the fuel cells, for one. Doing so will require that I have direct control of the systems within the drive bay. You must bring me along with you.
Are you seriously going to integrate with this rogue AI?
Without Apollo, we wouldn't have lasted this long. We can trust him.
Jack, I'll walk you through the process of downloading my imprint to your cortex.
I'm ready, Apollo.
Simply insert my AI core into the lower
Damit
receptor,
haben wir Liv
then
gerettet.
use your data link on the override slot. I will do the rest. Disconnecting from mainframe now. Download complete. Only one final issue remains, Jack. Your arms are too short.
Too short?
The FTL technology is highly sensitive. Accessing the drive bay and the fuel cells within will require multiple operators.
Good thing there's two of us then.
Unfortunately, the debris field is far too irradiated to accommodate Captain Rhodes.
You're saying Jack's the best chance we've got, but even he won't be enough.
I might be able to help, actually. The cargo drones employ stasis technology, which enables them to manipulate objects at a distance.
Like the stasis projectors we used to levitate the tram back in the hab.
Exactly. I believe I can incorporate the drone stasis deck into your shell, Jack. I'll just need more data from them to be sure.
The drone that just hit the bridge is unlikely to put up much resistance. I'll start there.
Whenever you're ready, Jack.
I'm heading out.
So, was genau? Was wollen wir jetzt machen?
Jack, to stay protected from radiation out there, you'll need to activate radiation dampeners with your data link. They can be found on both charging docks and cargo drones. Shields at 95%.
Radiation dampener activated.
Hypothesis confirmed. With sufficient data, I'll be able to construct a tool for extending your reach, Jack.
Does this tool have a name, Juno?
Well, it will essentially project your grip across space, so I suppose...
It's a grip projector. Let's move on.
More data will be needed.
There'll be plenty on the way to the drive bay. You know what to look for.
Affirmative. Inoperable cargo drones, but with functioning data ports. Heading to the drive bay.
Please remember the charging docks have radiation dampeners as well, Jack. They'll help keep you safe out there.
Thank you, Juno.
Signal Relays. Die sind aber alle sehr weit weg. Das machen wir später. So, wir sollen jetzt zur Drive Bay. Ich denke, wir müssen da jetzt erstmal hinten zu dem da und dann den auch direkt aktivieren. Okay, komm, los.
There was some biomass research data in there. Just a small amount, but every bit helps with the cure.
Charging Dock. Ist das da auch? Ja, ne?
Shields
Aber?
at 50%.
Da ist nichts.
Shields at 30%.
Echo 1, those charging docks won't have the data Juno needs to design your new tool, but they will restore your power. Hold your hands near the induction panel, and it will recharge your shielding.
The doctor is correct. The dock's data won't help in developing a new tool. However, I think it may still prove useful, specifically because the docks normally maintain a coordination and optimization network. They contain shared data from across the station. Prior to the generator going offline, the units in irradiated areas were sharing optimizations that I believe could still be used to improve your multispectral shielding, Jack.
Scanning further docks should provide the necessary data?
Yes, I believe so. I've added a tracker to your data tab.
So, wo kann ich mich jetzt aufladen? Weil ich mache nicht mehr viel. Also ich halte jetzt nicht mehr viel aus. Die Hülle ist sehr beschädigt. Sieht man auch immer dann, wie die aussieht hier, ne? Was mache ich falsch? Ach, guck mal. So einfach war's. So, wir müssen zur Drive Bay, aber wo war die jetzt? Da hinten, ne? Müssen wir gucken.
My readings show usable cargo drones still remaining in the area, Jack. Locating and scanning them will be necessary for creating your new tool.
Da hinten. Ob ich das schaffe?
Shields at 95%.
Die wachsen wie Tumor. Ekelhafte Viecher.
Archives recovered. I'm quite confident now that with more optimization data, I can significantly improve your multispectral shielding's resistance to radiation.
I am curious to know, why is my shielding not already optimized? Neither my shell nor the charging docks are experimental technologies, correct?
That is true. I believe the lack of optimization stems from two related factors. Firstly, there has not been a significant need for such optimization. The current shielding configuration has been more than adequate for typical X3 mission profiles. Secondly, practical testing scenarios for data collection have not presented themselves until quite recently.
You are referring to the Estrella?
Indeed. Only after its arrival and the doctor's subsequent attempts at salvage operations in its vicinity have the docks had sufficient exposure to generate meaningful findings. Fortunately, now that you are using an X3 shell, it's become apparent that those findings can be put to additional use.
Come.
Apollo, I wanted to ask.
Yes, Captain.
Well, you probably figured this out already, but you know this isn't your time, right? This isn't the future you came from.
Affirmative. When we first arrived, I was able to accurately calculate the astronomical year. However, I lacked sufficient data to determine that the course of history had been altered. I apologize for having misinformed you. The fact that half of the Estrella was left in your time and led to system-wide decimation of the human race is clear evidence of a tactical oversight on my part.
Apollo, I believe I may be able to extend Jack's reach by about 4 meters. I hope that will be far enough.
Affirmative.
Just a few more scans should suffice, Jack. The stasis projection technology will be simpler to adapt than previously anticipated. If you scan one more cargo drone, I believe I will have enough data to complete your new tool.
Okay. Noch eine Cargo-Drohne. Oh, da hinten ist ja auch noch so eine Station. So, komm, wir gucken erstmal, ob wir da Charging Dock, dass wir uns nochmal aufladen können. Dann können wir nach einer
Jack,
Drohne
I'm
Ausschau halten.
detecting extreme radiation nearby. If you can pinpoint the source, I advise staying clear.
Hell of a lot of radiation out there. Guess it's coming from the Estrella.
Correct. The Estrella's last time jump ruptured a generator, diffusing radiation throughout the region.
Hazard identified. An active warhead from the Estrella.
Once your grid projector is installed, removal of dangerous objects like this will be possible. Until then, maintaining a prudent distance is advisable.
Wo sehen wir scheiße aus? Die Strahlung setzt uns gut zu. Hi Benny. Ja, ich bin live. Live ist live. So, ich muss noch eine Drohne finden, um das neue Tool zu bekommen. Wo ist eine? Da ist nur eine Station noch. Irgendwo muss ja noch eine sein.
Shields at 95%.
Ja, ich weiß. Hab ich irgendwo einen übersehen? Erstmal aufladen. Okay, wofür aber vielen Dank, dass du dabei warst so lange. Und dir natürlich dann auch viel Spaß bei dem Game, ne?
Earth still appears blue from this distance. The blight of the biomass is nowhere in evidence.
You think we'll ever be able to go back? Not just me, but humanity.
In my limited experience, I have found human beings to be discerning, resourceful, and, above all, exceedingly stubborn. Based on those factors alone, I would estimate the odds of humanity's return to be more than favorable.
We ought to put you in charge of morale.
Shields at 95%.
Nee, kann ich verstehen, wofür. Also, alles gut. Sich immer spoilern lassen ist nicht so toll. Kann ich die jetzt irgendwie auch noch scannen, die Dinger? Ja, explodieren die dann direkt.
Shields at 95%.
Oh! Ich darf da nicht in die Nähe kommen von den Dingern. Okay. Wir kriegen aber eine neue Hülle. Ist ja schon mal was. Guck mal, wie schön wir aussehen wieder. Noch eine Cargo-Drohne.
Shields at 95%.
So. Komm.
Analyzing. Perfect. As predicted. I now have sufficient data to improve your multispectral shielding, Jack. Please return to the nearest fabricator for installation.
Okay.
Dr. Harlan, what was your purpose in attempting to salvage the Estrella? The odds of my ship's components being compatible with yours seems...
Da kann man unser Upgrade holen.
It wasn't the hardware I was after. Your ship was the original source of the infestation.
Upgrade.
I'd hoped to find
Wir kriegen jetzt Windows
an
11.
biomass torpedo amongst the wreckage. Use it to develop a cure for all this.
I understand, Doctor. Considering my current directives, I will provide any useful data that may help in your
Sieht
research.
schon ekelhaft aus, ne?
Better late than never, I suppose.
Warte, wenn wir darauf schießen, was macht
Installation
das?
successful. Jack, your multispectral shielding should now be more resistant to radiation. Please note, however, that contact with biomass will still drain it just as rapidly as before.
Understood. Thank you, Juno.
Of course.
Okay. Wir müssen zur Drive Bay, ne? Da oben.
Shields at 95%.
Approaching the drive bay.
I'm detecting some intense radiation there, Jack. Warheads, I believe. I advise removing them from the immediate area before proceeding.
Sounds like the perfect job for that new tool you're working on.
Correct.
Okay.
It will allow him to manipulate distant objects, including these warheads.
Good luck collecting that data, Jack.
Copy that, Liv. I'll continue searching for cargo drones to scan.
So, was soll ich jetzt machen? Da rein.
Shields at 95%.
Apollo, can we rely on the remaining munitions to stay in place?
Affirmative. With the ship now stabilized, these warheads should remain safely stowed.
The Estrella must have seen a few battles in its day, huh?
While the Estrella's combat history is above your clearance level, Captain, I can share this. Until faced with the biomass, she was undefeated in battle.
And here I was thinking my helium harvest total has made for an impressive record.
Habe ich schon so eine Zecke gesehen gerade.
Given the damage the Estrella has sustained, I would not expect even a simple system such as this to remain operational. How was that achieved?
The Estrella was built for war. Her high level of redundancy and modularity limits most damage to the compartment that sustained it.
Apollo, do these controls operate the door?
Correct. Unfortunately, it requires 2 operators.
Apollo, is this the only way into the drive bay?
I'm afraid that's correct, Jack. The fuel cells are stable, but the same cannot be said of their contents. As a result, access is tightly restricted.
Wir müssen wahrscheinlich
The
alles
door can
scannen.
be opened, however, by using the nearby controls.
A spent biomass torpedo.
Just like every other that was left behind here. Useless for my research, unfortunately. As soon as one detonates, accessing its incubator is no longer tenable.
Wie sollen wir den jetzt aufkriegen? Ist nichts anderes, ne? Genau, live is live. Aber was soll ich jetzt machen? Jetzt so schnell wieder runter? Oder kann ich das hier festschweißen? Nee.
Please continue searching for cargo drones to scan, Jack. More are still in the area, though they may have drifted into hard-to-reach locations.
Wir sollen nach Cargo-Drohnen suchen, okay.
Shields at 50%.
Okay. Ich guck mal ganz kurz hier, was jetzt Stand der Dinge ist. Shielding. Data Link online. Okay, fehlt noch was. Habe ich nicht eben noch eine gesehen und habe gesagt, da ist ja noch einer da hinten. Da ist noch was, aber das ist ziemlich weit weg, ne? Ich weiß gar nicht, ob wir das erreichen können. Naja, komm, wir gehen nochmal nach oben rein.
Jack, my data suggests sufficient drones presently inhabit the vicinity. However, there is a possibility their positions have drifted over time. Comprehensive examination of the region is advised.
Er sagte ja auch eben, meine Arme sind zu kurz, ne? Genau. Die Ruckelfreiheit. Ne, wir sind hier noch falsch, glaube ich. Aber wenn jetzt noch jemand dabei ist, der genau weiß, was Sache ist, könnt ihr mir gerne mitteilen. Na komm. Na komm.
My readings show usable cargo drones still remaining in the area, Jack. Locating and scanning them will be necessary for creating your new tool.
Ja, okay. Die sagt ja eigentlich, was Sache ist, ne? Okay. Danke, Mix. Da hinten, ne? Ob ich das schaffe? Na gut. Ja, wir probieren einfach mal.
Shields at 95%.
Ah. Wow.
Charging dock restored. Jack, now that we've completed optimizing your shield's radiation resistance, I'm afraid there's nothing more to be gained from the dock's data.
What's the point of an advanced network of semi-autonomous recharge stations if you can't count on them to calculate impressive optimizations for you?
I believe you are correct, Captain. The distributed computing power of the charging docks could be put to greater use.
Yes. That's precisely what I meant. Go on.
I have tasked the charging docks with developing a means for allowing Jack's shield to self-regenerate. The wealth of empirical data they have collected on recharging should prove invaluable to the process.
Then I presume additional data scans would be of value after all.
Tool schematics complete. Please visit a fabricator to install your new tool, Jack. Most charging docks will have one nearby.
How's it looking out there, Jack?
Ja, machen wir gleich.
Manageable. How are your preparations coming?
Die hole ich mal
Quite
weiter
well,
noch.
actually. Just doing some light welding outside the ship. Juno's helping me get the intake systems ready for the materials we're
Wenn wir
gathering.
schon mal hier sind.
Are you sure you should be exerting yourself, given your current condition?
I can handle it. The infection's still dormant.
Assuming its status hasn't changed.
Believe me, when it goes active, she'll know.
So, hier ist ja meistens dann auch so eine Fabricator, oder? Aber kann man auch da oben sammeln. Eigentlich egal.
Shields at 95%.
Was ist ein Fabricator? Komm. Piep, piep. So. Mach uns lange Arme.
Grip projector installed. To use your grip projector, simply point at a target, activate the projector, and direct it with your hand. Any sufficiently small piece of debris would be ideal to experiment on.
If your new tool works as intended, Jack, you should be able to access the fuel cells now.
Good. Heading to the drive bay.
Die Location sieht super aus. Echt. Mega.
I'm back at the drive bay, armed with the grid projector this time.
Great. You should be able to remove those warheads now.
Shields at 95%.
Warte. So.
Warheads removed. Entry into the drive bay is now clear.
Copy that. Standing by.
Now heading for the fuel cells.
Great. We'll keep a working cargo drone on standby. Just look for a good fuel cell and we'll handle the rest.
Roger that.
Oh. Da war das Kabel. So, und jetzt können wir auch die Tür öffnen. Dann machen wir hier.
I've gained access to the drive bay.
Wait, those pillars in the center, are those...
The Astrea's FTL drives, yes.
Do they still work?
Theoretically. But unfortunately, they're of little use to us. With such a high concentration of biomass forms in this area, any attempt to remove one of the drives would prove futile.
Dr. Harlan, I'm noticing these ticks appear to be less evolved than those we've previously encountered.
Must have carried over from the last time jump. No doubt just as dangerous. I advise avoidance at all costs.
Jack, my monitoring systems are offline here. You'll need to manually inspect each fuel cell in order to determine its viability. Simply scan their data ports to get started.
Ja.
Do we know what the biomass does specifically to an FTL drive to trigger a time jump?
I have a few theories.
As do I.
And I'm sure they're all equally preposterous.
The drive assembly looks remarkably like Dr. Harlan's FTL, if only a bit larger.
As I understand it, our drives were reverse engineered from the ones left behind on the Astrea 400 years ago. Their functionality hasn't improved since then.
Apollo, could one of these FTL drives contain a suitable replacement for the fuel cell? Empty. I'll have to keep looking.
So, wir müssen jetzt einen vollen Tank suchen.
Apollo, could one of these infected fuel cells still be full?
It is conceivable, Jack. However, the infestation renders it impossible for me to extract the cell.
Understood, Apollo. I'll check the other cells. Apollo, what are the chances that any of these fuel cells are still full?
The fuel cells were not designed for time travel, so unfortunately the odds of viability are incalculable. Scanning all their data ports will answer your query, however.
Ach doch, da ist das Dataport.
Accessing fuel cell. Jack, the data ports you need to access are located on the storage units running along the room's perimeter.
The units may be covered in biomass, but the ticks seem to prefer the center of the room.
Exposing fuel cell for inspection.
Ah, cool. Cool, Andy. So muss das sein. So, die sind draußen. Schon ein komisches Gefühl, wenn die Dinger hier rumschwirren.
Exposing cell for visual inspection.
Ja, ist voll.
Viable fuel cell located. Hopefully enough to power Dr. Harlan's FTL drive.
Nicely done, Jack. I'm sending a drone your way.
Send two.
What for? It's only one fuel cell.
Just trust me. Send two.
Warning, new drone compromised.
Jack, what's going on?
The ticks swarmed the lead cargo drone.
And that is why you send two.
Fair enough.
I don't think we'll be using that one again.
Backup drone malfunctioning.
More ticks. The lead drone is disabled, but the backup still has a chance.
Pesky bastards, aren't they?
I'll clear them off.
Und den können wir auch noch scannen. Können wir die noch entfernen irgendwie?
Shields at 50%. Shields at 30%.
Okay.
Cargo drone cleared.
Acknowledge. Thank you, Jack. Resuming.
Ah. Mist.
Drone is in place to collect the cargo.
Jack, I've activated the release controls on the fuel cell.
Was wollen sie denn jetzt wieder von mir? Ah, okay, okay. Jetzt verstehe ich.
Fuel cell released.
Cargo secured. Ready for departure.
Excellent. The fuel cell still needs to be latched into place once it arrives, Jack. The honor's all yours, if you'd like.
I'll take care of it, Liv. I prefer to see the job through to the end anyway.
Okay, great. We'll see you in a bit.
Cargo drone returning in T-minus 10 seconds.
Better grab on or stay clear, Jack.
If you wish to return now, I advise taking hold of the drone. Cargo drone departing in 3,
Vielleicht hier ein bisschen wegschießen vielleicht?
Firing thrusters.
Bleib da. Bleib da.
The fuel cell is clear of the drive bay.
Great. We'll have some cargo clamps ready to receive
Yes.
it here.
So, jetzt gleich gucke ich mal auf die Uhr, wenn wir wieder da sind. Ich weiß gar nicht, wie spät wir jetzt haben. Ich bekomme nämlich langsam ein kleines Hüngerchen. Aber mir gefällt es richtig, richtig
Welders
gut.
haven't changed all that much in 400 years.
That design is actually from a historical archive. It was the standard for most of the 23rd century. I'm afraid it's the closest approximation to a welder I could fabricate. I hope it's acceptable.
Perfect. adequate, Juno. Thank you.
Cargo inbound to destination. Decreasing speed for final descent.
Looking good, Cowboy Jack. Steady as she goes. Hookup controls are over near the cargo clamps.
Fuel cell in place and ready to be secured.
All you, Jack.
So. 2:15 Uhr, das kann nicht sein. Ich gucke jetzt mal ganz kurz. Ah. 22. Ja, ich würde sagen, dann beenden wir auch hier genau die Folge. 2 Stunden, das ist immer ein ganz gutes Zeitfenster. Was ich noch mal ganz kurz probieren würde, ist diesen Platz zu aktivieren und hier wird einer angezeigt, den gucken wir uns jetzt mal an, diese Antennen. Der wird uns mit 64 Meter angezeigt. Wo soll der sein? Okay. Ja, das weiß ich, Andi. Okay, 1985. Komm, wir gucken mal ganz kurz. Ich bin jetzt aktiviere, aber ich habe hier das USB-Kabel um mich selbst gewickelt. So.
Signal relay activated. Warning, 10 seconds remaining to complete linking sequence.
So, 2 müssen jetzt schon gesinkt haben. Oder?
Jack, you're running out of time.
Boah, nee, da habe ich gar keinen Bock drauf.
5, 4,
Die wollen, dass du von
3,
Station zu Station
2,
gehst? Nee.
1. Linking sequence timed out.
Also wie soll man das denn schaffen?
Liv, I believe this is the container that experienced explosive decompression while we were trying to investigate the anomaly back in 2126.
Well, I'll be damned. Hang on, wait a second. Does it even make sense for that container to be here? It flew into the anomaly that brought the Estrella back to our time, not the one that brought us forward to now. Shouldn't it have ended up in the Estrella's timeline or something?
Indeed, this does not fit the simulation model. Juno, we need to make adjustments.
Of course, Doctor.
So then one might consider its presence here an anomaly.
Well played, Jack. Well played.
So, okay. Dann würde ich sagen, machen wir hier jetzt Schluss. Und ja, ich werde auf jeden Fall hier weiter streamen. Ich weiß noch nicht wann, aber das Spiel werde ich definitiv hier weiter zeigen und mit euch gemeinsam zusammen dann auch beenden. Ja, Leute, ich danke euch erstmal fürs Zuschauen, wünsche euch jetzt noch einen schönen Abend, ein schönes Wochenende auf jeden Fall und ja, wir sehen uns. Dankeschön fürs Zuschalten. Bis dann. Ciao.